Hey, what's good? It is January 2026, and if you are listening to this recording after the fact, we are just getting started. It is the year one, if you haven't heard, and that means new beginnings. I'm your girl, Miriam Simon, leadership expert. Welcome to Latina Mic Drop podcast. I am super excited because today I had the privilege of spending my afternoon with women who are building their businesses and working towards getting their finances together. And we were in such community. And I just wanted to share this with you all because, for such a long time, I was a loner and doing so many things. I was the person who really just went to work, came home, went to work, came home, went to work, came home, and took care of my kids and raised my children. But now I'm in a little bit of a different space where I have more free time because my kids are adults now. And so when you're in transition, it is not that easy to go from being a full on caretaker every day of the week, every hour of your life. You're thinking and have the responsibility of your children. And now, because they're much older, they are in their 20s, I don't need to be doing all of that anymore. You still care and love them, and they still will need you, but in a different capacity, in a different way. Today's episode is all about being able to extend yourself beyond your family. One of the things that I came across today was the fact that we are very family oriented as Latinas, but at the same time, we are very cautious about who we encounter, who do we speak to, when do we extend beyond our family. That's something that was really hard for me to do. And that is something that I struggled with for a very long time. And it's something that I didn't always want to do. And I didn't feel a need to do it. I mean, come on, let's be real. Most of our families are what? 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people, right? When we have Christmas, it would be aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, parents, extended family. You didn't have space for your neighbors and everybody else to come. So it was all people you knew and all people you grew up with. So then now families are much smaller because of the pandemic. People have moved, people have left. The younger generations are not having as many children or any at all, which is perfectly fine. And so the family dynamic has changed, and how many people are in it and how much we gather around and get together. And so I've been building community for a very long time. It's mostly been because I have really just not have had anywhere to go. I used to live literally down the hall from my grandparents. And so for me, it was very easy. Like I would wake up if I was hungry, I went to my grandparents. If I wanted to go to Kmart when that was available, if you know Kmart, shout out, I would go to my grandparents. If I want to go to the park, I would go to my grandparents. If I wanted to go anywhere, really, it was with my grandparents. Both of my grandmothers are living in Mexico. So it's going to be very difficult to get together with them. My brothers and sisters all live in different places, an hour, half an hour, hour away, 2 hours almost. Cousins, aunts, uncles, also. Some of them are nearby, and not everybody, but they have different working schedules. So it's very hard to get together. And I was just thinking, well, what else can I do? How can I do this? Then I just really came across meeting new women, meeting new people. I am usually the only LGBTQ plus person, and I was today, I think. I don't know, and nobody else mentioned it. But the reality is that we don't have to do things independently anymore. I used to think I had to, and I used to do it all the time because I was the oldest and I was always just figuring things out for everybody else. But now I just really recognize that we do not need to be the only ones and do things alone. We should have a community of people around us, right? They always say, oh, you need a village to raise your children. Well, guess what? Once those children are gone, then what do you do? What do you do for you as an adult? What do you do as an adult that you can for yourself and for others? And some people think, oh, well, it's so easy. There's so much for us to do and this and that. But just be surprised how many people really have not been able to figure out what it is that they want and figure out what it is that they want to do. It's not as easy as people think. And when you're used to being in a role, it's very difficult to let it go. So for me, it was very, 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 very difficult to let go of the mom role. Until recently, I have become more accustomed to it and more used to my new role as a mother, because you're always a mother, but it's just very, 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 very different. So being an independent woman and a working woman and being a person who has very different opportunities than our parents and our grandparents did is a privilege in itself. And we really need to honor where we are, how far we've come. And although it is difficult, there are many different women who are building community out here and who are seeking ways to help you and seeking ways to work with you and seeking ways to expand your horizons, because so many of us were able to get to a point where we have peace. And that doesn't happen right away for everybody, because not all of us were born into money. Some of us came from a different country. Some of us, our parents came first and then we were here, or they came first and they brought us here, or they brought us with them. And the dynamic is very different. And so being raised here and being raised in a different country is very different. But at the same time, it's a privilege that a lot of us have now, where we have options that we can choose a different life. We don't just need to go ahead and get married and have children and then that's the end, right? Or be a housewife if we don't want to be. If we want to be, fine. But if we don't have to be. And so those are the kinds of options that we have today. And we definitely, definitely do not need to be alone in doing the work, in finding what it is that we want to do next, or how is it that we get to the next step, how we get to the next level. And so in my book, Tattoos and Pearls, I talk about that because it's important for you to be able to make relationships with different people so that when you need help, they can help you and vice versa. The reality is that we need to find people that are good people. Sometimes we will get manipulated, and sometimes people don't have the best intentions. And something that came up over and over is the trust factor. So for me, trust is very, 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 very hard. It's all due to so many different things. People have betrayed me. People have acted like they were friendly or been nice, but all they really wanted was what they could get from me and not so much really being a genuine person. So therefore, it's important that we are open to the possibilities of different people, different relationships, so that we can continue to build and continue to create the life that we want and be able to live our life fully. Otherwise, we may be stuck and we may be holding back and we may be, unfortunately, waiting for somebody to come get us. And that sometimes does not happen, like not all the time. Or if it's right in front of you, you wouldn't even know how to take advantage of an opportunity if somebody were standing right in front of you, ready to give you the opportunity, and you just didn't even know that. And all I've known, all I've ever learned is that you do not go alone anywhere. and people will need to get to know you, and people will want to get to know you before they spend any money, before they navigate spaces with you, before they invite you into their personal space. And that's natural and regular as human beings. And in leadership, sometimes it is very lonely, and I struggle with that. Because sometimes when you're an innovator, it happens where you are the only person that sees the vision. You're the only person who sees where you're headed, and nobody else can see that. So I often think about where I want to be in 5 years, how much money I want to make by the end of the year. What is it that I want to do? And some people are like, girl, like, you're not done yet. Like, you're not ready to just sit down. And the reality is that, no, I'm not. And the reality is that there is more money out there to make. There is more. And it's not all about the money. It's also about being able to help my community and being able to reach those women that need it, who are seeking opportunities. And nowadays, we have so much available to us. We have social media that we can use for free. We have mediums like this, like podcasting, where we can go ahead and share our thoughts and reach people. We have the ability to obtain coaches. So many of us are making way more money than our parents, or some of us are even living still with our parents. So you have more money to share, more money to spend, and that gives you the opportunity to work with a coach, to work with somebody who can teach you how. And the other thing too is that people used to think we could only do one thing. Now, I've always raised my children and gone to work. I've done plenty of that. And the reality is that now, why can't I have a job and have a podcast and have a side hustle and be a coach outside of my regular job? My regular job does what it does, and I do what I do. And then I have the rest of my life. There is more than the 9 to 5. People used to just dedicate it to the job only, not anymore. That's the reality of where we are today. People are going to find different ways to make money, different ways to feel valued, different ways to find fulfillment. And I am here to tell you, you do not need to do this alone anymore. We are more connected than you think. And always being a human first is what's going to get you there. The relationship, stepping out of your house and going to meet people is how you're going to find the next and 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 the next. And building those relationships is something that AI will never be able to take away from us. The AI may be able to help us get our thoughts together and get our thoughts polished and summarize and automate and all these great things that it's doing. And I definitely take advantage of it, because let me tell you, creating a deck from scratch and having AI create it for me is so fast that it is definitely a plus. And somebody like me who has a 9 to 5 job, I need to find those time savings any which way I can. And that is the benefit of it, of using technology to your advantage. Just don't become a robot yourself. So that's today's episode. I am here to tell you, do not do things alone. Reach out, go out, meet people. You never know who or what you will find, and you never know what your next opportunity is if you are not open to it. I've created the what is your unstoppable score so that you can figure out, hey, what is holding me back? Is something holding me back? Do I need any help? Should I? Where can I go? Thank you all for listening to Latina Mic Drop, and let those resolutions go. Do something different. Set your goals for the year in a different way. Did you know that resolutions vanish by the 18th of January? So we need something a little bit more substantial, something more. Thank you for tuning into Latina Mic Drop. I'm your girl Miriam. See you on the flip side.